Army seizes factories for making explosive devices and warehouses for heavy and medium weapons in Aleppo's industrial city. 3 children are killed in a massacre committed by Takfiri terrorists against the family of Hajj Khalid Khalil ahead of an iftar in DeirEzzour. Iraqi Army makes progress in pursuing the terrorists, killing many of their leaders. Welcome to our news bulletin. I'm Dania Nizam. President Bashar al-Assad issued decree number 213 for the year 2014 on establishing new faculties at the universities of Damascus, Syrien, al-Ba'ath and Hama. According to the decree, the 4th faculty of economy will be opened in the city of Sweda and will be affiliated to Damascus University. The 2nd faculty of pharmacy will be opened in Patriots city so as to be affiliated to Latakia-based University of Syrien. New faculties of dentistry and economy will be opened in al-Ba'ath University. New faculties of pharmacy will be opened in Hama University. A faculty of science will be opened in Masyaf City and will be affiliated to Hama University. Syrian Arab Army units continued their operations targeting the terrorists' gatherings and hideouts in several areas, killing and injuring many of them. In Dalla countryside, the Syrian Arab Army units destroyed a barricade that was set up by the terrorist groups to attack the citizens between the towns of al-Sefra and al-Wald. In Quneitra countryside, Syrian Arab Army units targeted the terrorists' gatherings in the villages of al-Qahtaniya, al-Ajraf, Ufana, al-Zaydiyya and DeirEzzour, killing many terrorists and injuring others. In Homs countryside, Syrian Arab Army units eliminated many terrorists in the vicinity of Shuh town, destroying their weapons and ammunition. Units of the Syrian Arab Army have killed and injured dozens of terrorists and destroyed their vehicles in Aleppo city and its countryside. Army units had already seized armed caches and factories for manufacturing explosive devices and various kinds of rockets used by the terrorist groups in the industrial city in Sheikh Najjar area in Aleppo. A military source has said that hundreds of mortar shells, Grad rockets and anti-armored rockets were also seized. 3 children were killed and their mother was seriously wounded in a mortar attack fired by the terrorists on Al-Rawad neighborhood in DeirEzzour. The terrorists' mortar shells hit a house belonging to the citizen Khalid Khalil as the family was gathering for iftar, killing 3 children and seriously injuring their mother. In Idlib's eastern countryside, the Syrian Arab Army units, in cooperation with the National Defense and the villages of Abu Dali and the neighboring areas, repelled an attack by armed terrorist groups, killing many terrorists and injuring others. Minister of Health Dr. Saad al-Naif discussed with representative of the UN Children's Fund in Damascus, Yusuf Abdul Khalil, the efforts exerted to boost the national vaccination programs and to improve the children's nourishment during the current circumstances. Dr. Naif asserted the necessity to provide the logistic support, especially the vaccines, at their appropriate times and to support the chain of the cooling system related to the preservation and transfer of vaccines. Minister of Health also focused on the maximum utilization of the available resources in order to maintain the health of the children and urged to assist in supplying measles vaccine and to broaden the national vaccination program in order to reach all the targeted children in Syria. The British Broadcast Corporation, the BBC, has disclosed that the British authorities have frozen the properties of British citizens who were believed to have joined the terrorist groups in Syria. It added that among those were the 20 20-year-old Nasser al-Muthanna and Riyad al-Han from Cardiff City, and a third person called Ruel Amin from Aberdeen City. It went on to say that Nasser al-Muthanna's younger brother, called Asil, has travelled to Syria to fight along the terrorists, adding that al-Muthanna and Khan appeared in a video clip that has been shot in Syria urging the British youth to join the so-called Islamic State of Iraq and Sham. It concluded this report by saying that al-Muthanna has posted photos on various social media websites which showed about 15 explosive devices inside metal containers that he himself had manufactured. The Austrian newspaper Curia stressed that the terrorist groups in Syria are recruiting children to participate in their criminal acts and to shed the blood of the Syrian people. The paper reported the Human Rights Committee as saying that the terrorist organizations are recruiting children as young as 12 years old, leading them to fight, either by intimidating or tempting them as they promise them better education and protection. The paper pointed out that the children are kidnapped by the terrorist groups who push them into the battlefields after training them to hold arms and to make explosive devices. The paper also mentioned that the children are trained to carry out suicide operations by showing them film videos teaching them ways of suicide bombings. In Iraq, aviation inflicted dozens of casualties among the terrorists of the ISIL who have attacked the Bashar base in Tikrit city. On the other hand, a unit from the counter-terrorism cooperation with the Air Force targeted terrorists west of Mosul, resulted in killing and injuring dozens of them, while the military official for the ISIL was killed by an explosive device in al-Sadia west of Dalla city. New warnings and fears in Britain and the Western states, which funded the terrorists fighting in Syria, of security threats by those terrorists at the return to their countries after they gained dangerous criminal and fighting skills and committed heinous crimes in Syria. The latest of these warnings issued from head of the Defence Committee in the British House of Commons, Malcolm Rifkin, who asserted the danger of what he called as the bomb makers jihadists who joined the armed terrorist groups' ranks in Syria and Iraq. Rifkin said that the bomb makers have satanic skills in making explosive devices as they insert them in mobile phones and laptops. The anxiety and fear are growing in Britain from carrying out terrorist attacks against sites inside Britain. In a way to prevent Erdogan from being a president, the Turkish opposition Republican People's Party lodged a judicial complaint against Erdogan concerning his properties. The party called for making a parliamentary inquiry note against Erdogan, who is a candidate for the presidential elections next month and who decided to transfer his properties to his heirs. The party added that the amount of Erdogan's properties has increased above his income, noting that Erdogan owns a number of villas in several areas in addition to a huge sum of money. Erdogan has smuggled outside Turkey after investigations concerning corruption. With this, we end our news for today. Thank you for watching us. For more details about Syria and the region, you can view this bulletin again on syria.online.sy. After the break, it's Vani with our economic and business news. God bless you. Long live Syria.